Okay, so we're going to look over creating a pie graph. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is they've given us, let's say this is a local store that sells brands of shoes, and these are the brands they sell. Okay, in that store they've taken an inventory, and then maybe in the last week this is what they have sold, so the amount of each shoe they've sold. They want us to make a pie graph representing the relationship. Now, the first thing we're going to have to do is actually figure out the total number of shoes they've actually sold. That's right. So we're going to have to add everything up. So give us a total here. In the ones column, 2 and 8 is 10, 7, 18. Carry to 1, this becomes 6, 7, 8. So it looks like they've sold a total of 88 shoes. Okay, so then from there we're going to actually find a percentage. So what percentage of the total does each brand represent? And in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take the amount of shoes they bought, so 21, and we're going to divide it by the total here. So percentage, or number of shoes divided by total, will give us our percentage. Okay. So in each of those cases, and we'll do it in.
Would you have to multiply it by 300?
But yeah, at the end to make the pie chart itself. So this is just only going to give us our actual percentages. Oh no, let's add a 17. It's 17. Do you have a calculator with you?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try that out. 88. 8 out of 88. 12 out of 88. Oh, sorry, they paused. Here it is. We quickly divided everything, and these are the decimals we got. In order to turn into a percentage, we actually have to multiply them by 100. Okay, so let's see here. We'll have to multiply each of those values by 100. So I'll write the percentages on the side. In other words, what that's going to be is 23%, just so we have a little room. 34% of the shoes sold this week were Adidas, 19 were Puma, 9 were Reebok, and 13 were Skechers. Okay, one thing we have to check is because we didn't quite, well, we did a bit of rounding, is we have to make sure this adds up to 100. All of these numbers have to add up to 100%. So let's quickly go over that. 2 and 4 is 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 9 and 9 is 18. So we're actually short. So we've done a little bit of rounding error here. This probably adds up to about 98%. Okay? So when we're going through this, I think the 23 and maybe the 19, we're supposed to round up those values. Okay?
What
so
about 9?
we have to check the numbers because 2 of them were probably supposed to round up that we didn't round up. Okay? So we'll round those 2 values up because it has to add to 100. Okay? So this was supposed to be, I think, 24, and maybe this was supposed to be 20. Just for argument's sake. Now it's going to add up to 100. So that's something we do have to check to make sure we haven't made any rounding errors. Now we add up to 100. So when we go to make a circle, or a pie graph, we should say, okay, we know it's going to be a circle itself. Well, the percentages we have are, and we'll just double check them again, the largest was 34%. Then we had a 24%. 20, 13, and 9. 20, 13, and 9%. Okay. Now these all add up to 100, but a circle, if we measure in degrees, okay, a circle, all the way around a circle is 360 degrees. Okay. So because all of these values add to 100, we have to figure out how to go from 100 to 360. Okay. So we have to figure out what to multiply by. Well, we know if all of these are going to add up to 100, and I have to go to 360, do you know what value I'd have to multiply by to get to 360? Well, not percent, but degrees.
What do you mean?
The way we can do this is we'll take our 360 and we'll divide it by 100. That will tell us what number will be our multiple. What we'll have to multiply each of the percentages by to find out what degrees to use. So it should be 3.6. That's right. So what this means is, because a circle is 360 degrees, I have to multiply each of these percentages by 3.6 to turn them into some degree. Okay? So I'm going to get you to do that. We're going to multiply each of them by 3.6. And again, there might be a little bit of rounding involved here because we have to make sure it adds up to 360. Okay? So what about the first one?
So like
34 times 3.6. Okay, so we quickly wrote out all of our degrees here. So this is going to be our starting line, kind of like 12 o'clock on a clock. This will be our starting line. We're going to need a protractor from there. So we're going to take this protractor. Where'd it go? It's probably at the top of the screen. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's move it downwards. Okay, so I'm going to move this protractor down. I'm going to shrink it in size so that's roughly the size of our circle. And I'm going to try to line it up with what we have here. Okay, so that looks like it's about lined up. Should be there it is. Okay, the first one needs to be 122 degrees. Now, there's a number, I don't know if you can see it in the middle moving. Okay, it looks like we're going to have to turn this guy over here to get an exact measurement. So if you notice, when we start from here, that number in the middle is 0.
Going that way?
It doesn't matter. On a real protractor, you can do whatever. But because this computer one's like this, I'm going to start going this way. So if you notice, once we get to here, we're at what's logically 90, right? But we got to go 222. So the number in the middle gets to...
How do I have to go to 222?
200. Oh, why does that show 90? It shouldn't. There it is. Do you see how it shows 222 right now?
Oh.
So from this green line to here, I know it jumps back to 90, but that's about 222. So I need to now
Isn't it
know.
122?
Oh, sorry. I'm saying, yeah, you're right. I'm going to move that off so it's on that angle there. And I need to draw. That's roughly 122. Okay? And that's our Nike, I believe it was. Okay? So that was our Nike, which was 122. I was just saying it incorrectly. The next one we need to use is 86. So what I want to do is I now want to move this protractor, if I can. Please move. I guess I got to bring this guy back to do it. What's going on here? Come on, machine. There you go. Okay. We're going to move this protractor back in line with where it was before. So we're going to turn it, and it needs to be in line with our new line.
Wait, so every time you do a new one, you have to line it up with the line,
the last line we just did, yeah. So, here's our last line we just did. It's at 0 right now. You see in the middle of that protractor, it says 148, but it's at 0 when I'm holding it. I have to go 86. So I scoot around.
Which one do you look at?
Look at the middle value
Bottom
there.
one?
Yeah, the bottom one's the better one. 85. This is about 86, so I need to draw a line coming away like that from the middle. So we'll do this one in red. Looks like it roughly has to go to there from our measurement. This is our Adidas. Okay. Same idea as we had before. I'll have to turn this and line it up with the other line. So it's not quite lined up, as you see. There it is. Do you see how this black line's lining up with the red line? Okay. We're going to have to start from there. So right now it's supposed to be at 0. The next thing we're going to do is 72. Hold it, see it's at 0, and that's how it moves up as I go to 72. So I'm looking up and see the smaller number underneath?
Yeah.
The 70, 71, 72. So, oops, it moved a little. That's probably about 72. I moved it a bit. So, from our last line, looks like we got to go a line to roughly about there. I think that was Puma. So here's our Puma in the next one. Next we turn our protractor again. We're going to line it up with the green one this time. Okay, so let's pull it down so that the middle part's in the middle. Line this up with the green. Okay, great. After 72 we need to go 46.8. So from here, 46. Okay, that looks good. That's about there. Do we do blue it? No. Okay. That was Skechers. So the next one should be right. Now there may be a bit of human error here. We might have made a bit of an error. We'll line it up and just double check that it's 32. According to this, right where that black line is 33, 32. So it looks like we lined it up perfect. Looks like we did an excellent job in setting this up. So let's put that last one in there. What was the last one? Reebok, I think, right? 2 E's, B-O, okay. Okay, and that's how we set it up. We just have to measure always from the last line we did before.